Hi, mister. How are you? My name is Daniel Flores, and I'm going to present you my lesson plan number 17 from my second term report. The topic is past perfect continuous. Now, let's talk about the four objectives that I use in my lesson plan. The first objective was listening. The listening objective: understand what past perfect continuous is. Understand it. Then the speaking objective was ask and answer questions. Ask and answer questions using past perfect continuous. Objective number 3, reading. Recognize past perfect continuous in paragraphs. And the last one, the writing objective was the form. Students form statements with past perfect continuous. In the next part from my lesson plan is methodology and strategies. I've got 2 methodologies and 2 strategies. I'm gonna mention them. First methodology was the flipped classroom high-tech. That means that students do problem solving exercises in class. It is very, very useful. The second methodology that I used was student-centered to approach to learning. That means that students assume a much more active role in the learning process. Nowadays, it is important that we have to keep this in mind. We cannot just talk and talk and talk and talk and pretend that our students understand. No, we have to change our minds, and we have to assume a much more active role to our students in this learning process. The first strategy. Let's talk about the strategy. The first one, it's called the anticipation guide develop. You will wonder, what does it mean? That students think about what they already knew about the topic. They already knew. So just we've got to continue reinforcing the knowledge, the previous knowledge that they have learned before. And the second strategy is the description. What does it mean? That they are used to demonstrate knowledge of a concept. They have to describe. Okay? And this strategy is tied with the student-centered to approach learning, that methodology. Okay? Both are connected. Now, let's talk about the next part of my lesson plan. The second part of my lesson plan is the anticipatory set. I will show you the activity that I consider in this stage of my lesson plan. First, I write a sentence using past perfect continuous on the whiteboard of Zoom. Remember that The platform Zoom, the Zoom platform, it was chosen by me in my classes because I consider a very useful platform, and it's free. It's free to download. Have After that, after writing the sentences, I have the students work together to help me to complete some sentences. And we've got to invite our students. I invited them to make a funny ending of the first part of the present perfect continuous sentence. It will break the ice in order to feel more confident if we have doubts. They will freely express their doubts to me. In the next part of the lesson plan is the main teaching input. In this stage, I present students a slideshow that contains the principal structure of past perfect continuous, like subject, had, been, and ing form of the verb. This is structure, okay? The usage and the most common time expressions. Okay? This is what the video contains. Ask students. After that, I ask students to participate. Past perfect continuous by practice. Past perfect continuous by beginning with a past perfect continuous worksheet. I invite them. Okay? Once students have become comfortable with past perfect continuous, practice. I invite them to practice more, but with more complex dialogues. Because we cannot stay in the same line. We have to force them to cover more complex topics, okay? More complex dialogues to help students to take account of very diverse situations in daily life. Because in daily life, they won't see simple conversation. Hi, thank you, bye. No. That's why they've got to realize the complex dialogues within the class. Okay? In the next part of my lesson plan is the modeling stage. In this stage, I ask students what they have noticed. And I make the question, what did you notice about how I made the past perfect continuous? I have to listen carefully what they have realized. Because I review if they missed grammar taught. I taught to get through the tough part, because it is our work. If they don't understand something, we have to help them to improve their skills, because this is our job as our teacher. Okay? Now, in the next stage from my lesson plan goes the guided practice. In the guided practice, I present on the screen of Zoom the past perfect continuous worksheet in order to practice with students and let them write in the answers of each exercise on screen with my teachers, with my guideline. Remember that we cannot let our students be free in class because they've got to know that they have to follow some rules in order to help the environment in the class. Nowadays it's a virtual environment, but we we are still having fun in that way of learning, the virtual way. I really liked it. I love it. I love it. And my students love the same. So I have to invite in this part, in the guided practice, I have to invite them to try to do the exercise by their own without looking at the answers. If they want to do something more challenging. But if they don't, it's okay. They will still receive my help in this part, just in this part, in the guided practice. In the next part, in the independent practice, yeah, just I give instructions. Students write down the time expressions that are commonly used in past perfect continuous sentence, and then I send a link by direct message of Zoom to all of the students, and that link contains an exercise online. After students completing the exercise online, they have got to make a screenshot and send it to me in order to measure the content or the knowledge learned. Because without that, I cannot realize how many students are learning and how many students are not learning the topic mentioned. Now, in the next stage of my lesson plan is the assessment. In the assessment, I tell students to write on the whiteboard soon. I tell them, I put the whiteboard soon in my screen and some sentence, and in those sentences I write some sentence that contains structure in the past perfect continuous. I check their ideas because after that I asked what do they complete the sentences with their ideas. Always they are always monitored by me. Okay, because I am this is the assessment part, because I'm checking what they are writing, if they are understanding or not. Okay, that's why this part is the assessment. It is very important, this part. Okay, that's why I invite them to write on the whiteboard. I ask. Is more how can I say it? It's like more challenging for them when they see in the whiteboard and okay, I got to do my best. So they do their best at the moment of writing the sentences that I asked to them. And in the last part, in the closing review and follow up, just I review. I review quickly before ending the class. First, I've got to congratulate my students of all their hard work. And then I ask them to tell me in their own words how past perfect continuous is used. Okay? And what tense it is used, or how can we write it. So this is important. This is an important part. So we've got to listen carefully. Doesn't matter if they take their time while they are talking, we've got to be patient because some students they they have got the ability of speaking while others don't. So we've got to be patient in these parts of the closer review. This is my lesson plan number 17, mister. I hoped I hope that you liked and have a nice rest of the day. Take care, mister. Bye bye.